Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got an update on the HO layout. It's a big one to me, but relatively small because I'm not even halfway done with the part that I'm working on. And that is getting the servos hooked up for the turnouts and getting the Arduino programmed and the servo calibrated for how far it needs to go for the switches. Unfortunately, it's taken me longer to get this done. I've been working on this for about a week and a half now. Just partly the time due to work and messing up and having to do some changes. The first thing was that I ran everything on the same power bus, and that was partly because I had thought the Arduinos were 5-volt Arduinos. When I went to program them, though, it turned out that they were 3.3 volts Arduinos. So I put everything on one single bus, had everything on 3.3. When I had it up over here, I think I showed it in an earlier clip, these two servos were working fine, and that one was working fine, but none of the others were working. These three weren't working at all. I thought that may have been a bad Arduino. I thought it was bad touch buttons. Come to find out that, what should have been obvious was when I had the Arduinos on 5.5 volts, or 5 volts, I can't remember which it is now. It was messing up and overclocking them, essentially, and causing the servos to be all wonky over here. The ones over here weren't even working. So went back and forth with ChatGPT a little bit, just to kind of bounce the idea off of quote unquote someone else. I had done the code all in ChatGPT. The reason for that is I can read code pretty decently, but in terms of writing it, knowing what I need to put where, it just takes me way too long, and I didn't want to spend all that time. And so I had some help doing that, and kind of going through troubleshooting, found out that I do need to split the buses up, but it also was saying that the Arduinos probably weren't giving enough power, or the pulse width wasn't strong enough to turn the servos. So I ended up buying two driver boards for the servos and went through, rewired everything and got it wired up, did two separate buses. I say separate buses, but the 5-volt really just goes to here. I did also learn that I needed to have a power cutoff for the Arduinos so that I could program them. So that's why I've got this other one down here. I put one already on the other one. And I've been slowly re-going through and actually remounting the servos. At first, I had been using these bolts and nuts because I thought, well, that'd be easy. And I didn't have any screws that I felt would be strong enough to be long enough to get into the plywood, but also short enough to not come up through the top. Doing some, looking at when I was putting in the other servos, and I think I may have said this, but the screws that came with them were actually long enough and to get into the wood, but short enough not to poke through. So I ended up replacing all of the servos over here. Luckily on this side of the layout, I had already mounted them with the screws, so we're good with that. But long story short with this, I got everything coded up and, tweaked a little bit because there were some things that I wanted to change. And I don't know if it'll show real well or not, but have all of the turnouts over here wired up and good to go. So I'm really happy with it. I've been running cars back and forth just to make sure that they're not doing anything or causing any issues. Actually, I say cars, but I've just been using that Rock Island hopper. But anyway, that is the latest for what I've been working on down here on the layout. Another thing that took time was I've been using these female connectors for, I can't remember exactly what this kit was. I just looked for servo jumper connectors or something like that. And so I've actually been using these with those onto the connector board here. That way I wasn't soldering anything up onto the driver board. And for the other side, I just stuck with putting the wire into the servo. Figured that's easy enough. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I think things will be going a little bit quicker now. Well, I say that, but as you can see, I've got these two panels, and I'm going to have to wire up power to each of the touch sensors for here, and then bridge them together with the input so that when this side's pushed, it'll register, or if this side's pushed, it'll register. So that'll take a little bit of time, and it is what it is. I think that was, the other thing is I did go through and heat shrink all of the power. So that took some time as well. But overall, I'm really happy with how things have gone. I may try and see if I can't slow the servos down just a little bit more. But overall, I think it's a pretty decent start, and really happy with it. So we'll call that good for this video. It really isn't too exciting, but I decided to compile two videos that I'd already filmed and just give this one good explanation. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'll keep working on this and, just try to keep my sanity while working on this. But so yeah, that's where we're at. I also need to move the battleship off of down here. This was the easiest place to glue that to the wood, or that plywood base. I digress. That's where we're at. I probably, to start off with, will get a couple of these easier turnouts done. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But at least, I should say, with this side, I just thought of this, and I'll end it. But I have the servos set for the specific home position that they're at. And so, or the one side. So at least with this, the program that I have, it has a little bit of give that the home position's different. It isn't the 0 that I had it at with the first iteration of the code. So hopefully all I'll have to do is put get everything hooked up, and then I can just adjust a little bit with how things are. I actually was able to do it with that one, that servo back there. So anyway, that's the hope. I hope that come the end of this weekend that I can maybe have trains running. We'll see. I've said that, I know, a couple of times in the past, and it comes up to bite me in the rear, and I don't have them. But anyway, this is getting long-winded. Thank you, everybody, for watching and following along with me on this new layout, or this additional layout, and appreciate it. Again, thank you all, and we'll see you in the next video.